Now, since April is Alcohol Awareness Month, we wanted to do our part to, well, bring awareness to some issues you may not know about. That is where Dr. Teresa Jackson from Sierra Tucson comes in. Doctor, thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Hi, good morning.
This is a perfect opportunity for us to have this conversation. Like I said, April is that awareness month. What kind of prevalence have you really seen when we're talking about alcohol disorders?
The numbers are much higher than you think. 1 in 4 adults has a lifetime prevalence of alcohol use disorder. That's 84 million Americans.
Wow.
Even though we're in the midst of this opiate epidemic that we hear a lot about, we lose 91 lives each day to the opioid epidemic. We lose 240 lives to alcohol-related illnesses each day in the United States. That's 88,000 people per year, with spending of over $200 billion. Unfortunately, only about 20% of people receive treatment for alcohol use disorder, and less than 9% of people receive FDA-approved medications for alcohol use disorder.
Interesting. All of those numbers are, like you said, very shocking, probably surprising to a lot of people. And I know we're going to take today as kind of an opportunity to kind of run through some topics, maybe possibly touch someone at home that's watching this, whether it be themselves, maybe someone that they know. Let's start with drinking habits. Is it different between men and women?
Yes, well, there's some criteria for heavy drinking. So no heavy drinking is considered no more than 5 drinks per setting for a man, or 15 drinks per week, and no more than 4 drinks per setting for a woman, or 8 drinks per week. Now, the amount of alcohol in one drink is very small. So your typical cocktail that you might get at a restaurant or bar might actually have 3 drinks in it.
Okay.
And men and women metabolize alcohol differently. Men start to metabolize alcohol in the stomach, whereas women do not. And women typically weigh less than men, so our blood alcohol level goes up higher more quickly.
And that's why there's such a difference in that.
Yes.
And I think the nugget that I'm pulling out of there is when we're saying one drink, just because it's in a glass doesn't make it a drink. We have to look at the alcohol content that's in the glass.
It's a small beer, a small glass of wine, or 1 shot of hard liquor is considered one drink.
And now we know why it's different for the men and women. What about just in general? How does it affect our body?
It affects every organ system in your body, starting with your mental health, depression, anxiety, heart disease, cancer. Over 50% of liver disease is alcohol related. So pretty much every organ system can be affected.
Now, and that's for everyone, like we're saying. So I did say we wanted to kind of touch somebody out there with these statistics, these numbers and things that we're talking about. How does somebody say, do I have a problem, or does somebody else that I know possibly have this disorder?
That's a great question, and I would charge people to log or keep track for 2 to 4 weeks. Be very honest with yourself and log your drinking, and then say, based on those parameters, do I fall outside of these parameters or more than that amount of drinks per week for most of the month?
Yeah.
And then really look at, have I had any consequences of my drinking? And these consequences can be medical. Has my doctor told me I have high blood pressure? Do I have depression, anxiety? Have I had lab testing done? Do I have elevated cholesterol, liver function tests? So mind and body. Legal consequences. Have I ever had a DUI? If you're in college, have I had a minor in possession? Any sort of legal consequences specifically related to alcohol. Those are 2 very big ones. And then work and school. Have I called in sick because I was hungover? Have I missed work? Have I had poor performance at work from being hungover or for drinking? Same thing with school and college. Kids miss a lot of classes because they're hungover from going out the night before. Have I missed classes or not gotten the grade that I expected to get because of drinking? Financial consequences. Am I in debt? Do I spend too much money on this? In lieu of paying something I'm responsible for, do I spend that money going out? And then probably one that's the hardest to quantify is your social consequences of your drinking.
Yeah.
is this affecting my relationship with my husband or wife, boyfriend, girlfriend? Do my friends confront me about my drinking? Yeah. Has anyone ever said, boy, you were really drunk last night, or and you don't remember, things like that. So then if you put together your number of drinks per week, keep track for a month or so, and then make a list, be very honest with yourself about consequences of my drinking, then you might start to come to terms with, do I have an alcohol problem? And you can have an abuse problem where maybe you could just realize that and cut back on your own, or a true alcohol use disorder, which is the terminology we use now instead of alcoholism.
And what are some of the treatments that we could use if we're coming to that conclusion, I guess?
Classic treatment is Alcoholics Anonymous, or meetings, and in Tucson there is a meeting every day of the week, almost every hour of the day. You can go onto the website for Alcoholics Anonymous and find a meeting very easily now. Contact your medical doctor. Most of us have a primary care physician. Be honest. You'd be amazed how many people are not honest about their drinking when they're asked, or maybe they're not even asked at the doctor. Therapists, psychologists, cognitive behavioral therapy. And one step further up that ladder would be an intensive outpatient program. These programs are designed 4 to 5 days a week, 4 to 5 hours a day, to treat you as an outpatient for alcohol use disorder, so you're at your own home.
And I'm also going to give them some information on phone numbers and websites they can use today to kind of start on that path to some of those treatments. But Doctor, I want to thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
Again,
my pleasure.
I think that nugget we should be taking away is be honest with yourself when you're going through this conversation. So I'm going to give that information one more time. You guys, to learn more about Sierra Tucson and alcohol awareness, give them a call at 844-207-6488 or visit SierraTucson.com.